Alright guys, I am so excited for this video because we're going to be reviewing the Procolored L1800 DTF printer, and it does have the matching oven right down there. Although this video is not sponsored, a big thank you to Procolored for sending me this machine to test out, and I'm going to be giving my honest review, pros, cons, and I am super excited for this. This printer in particular is very popular amongst the small business community, and I actually have always wanted to try this. As I said, it is very popular amongst the small business community, so I've heard a lot of great things about it. So we're going to see if those great things are true. Let's put it to the test. Let's go ahead and turn this on so we can get to printing. So one of the very first things I will say about this printer is that it is not compatible with Mac. I had to go ahead and purchase this HP laptop. It's renewed and it was pretty affordable. That is kind of frustrating because I feel like I had more difficulty figuring out Windows software than I did with the actual software, the printer. So that is something to know if you are coming from a Mac to Windows. It's a completely different operating system, and so I feel like I had more trouble with that than the actual DTF printer, but that's besides the point. Let's go ahead and open the ProRip software, and this is what it's going to look like. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up an image here, and I just want to say that I have not done a full print yet, so this is going to be my very first print ever, so we're testing it out completely from scratch. So let's see, is this the right one? Make this smaller. Okay. And then down here you can actually see the measurements of the image, so I know that is going to be way too big. So I'm going to keep making it smaller until I get something I like. Let's do about 9 inches. That should be good because we don't want it to be too big. Let's just do a small little test at first just to see how that goes. All right, so let's test this out. Okay, so it's processing right now and it's about to print, so let's see how it comes out. Okay, so I'm just realizing that I forgot to mirror the image, so we're gonna have to redo that, but it's printing pretty well, so yeah, let me just mirror the image and then I'll get back to you. Okay, it looks like it's working pretty well. The entire image is backwards, so yeah, I had to redo that, but it looks pretty good. And now the other one is coming out right now. Just completely smeared the whole thing. Wow. Okay, let's print it again. Alright guys, so at this point I realized I was wasting a lot of film and it just like really bothered me to see it go to waste. So this time I decided to print a couple designs all at once, and that way we can also test out some different sizes and styles and things like that. I really like that you're able to arrange all your different designs and kind of fit as many as you want on there. And here I'm just changing the DPI to 1440 by 1440 because after watching some YouTube videos, this is to ensure that your white layers come out pretty seamless. Lastly, we're making sure that box is checked off so it comes out mirrored, and now we're ready to print. So the design is now printing, and I did go ahead and fast forward this part, but the timestamps show that this took about 3 minutes to print. And on the side of the printer, there's a forward and a backwards button to feed the film through the printer. And I just made sure to pull that forward a little bit and give extra space so I don't scrape the design again. And this is the first time seeing all the prints together, and oh my god, I could not believe the vibrancy of this, you guys. Like, it looks so saturated and pigmented, it came out beautiful. Now I went ahead and used the DTF powder that came with the printer, and now we're going to give our transfer a powder bath and basically just pour a bunch of powder on there and make sure that it's evenly coated and sticking to the design, and you'll know it's ready when you lift it up and pour off the excess, and you can see all the powder stuck to the design and it's ready to go. Now it's time to give the transfer a little bake in the oven at 120 degrees for 200 seconds. And you don't necessarily have to stand right in front of this while this is baking, but definitely be nearby just in case. And once the transfer is done baking, the oven will let you know and start beeping. And now for the final test, let's press this on a sweater and see how it comes out. I'm using an auto heat press, and I'm just setting the temperature at 320 degrees for 30 seconds. This is a cold peel. Do not remove it when it's hot. You have to wait for the design to cool down before you take it off. Now time to peel the design, and look how smooth this comes off. It is so satisfying, you guys. Fast forwarded this part for you guys, but I literally spent like a minute or two just feeling how smooth the design came out. I couldn't believe it. And I did the same thing for the second sweater because I just could not believe the quality and how great this came out. All right, guys, so these are the prints that we did yesterday. I'm seriously impressed by this. I did not think it was going to come out this nice. The best way I can describe it to you is just like so buttery smooth and really, really feels nice. And I'm really happy with it because I know some DTF transfers can feel super thick and plasticky, and that is not the case with these at all. As you guys saw in the last clip, I could not just stop feeling how smooth it feels. But I want to see how it will feel with an image that is, I believe, like 12 by 12 or like 11 by 11, like a bigger image that takes up the whole shirt. I want to see how that will feel because I know some of these bigger designs can start to feel plasticky and stuff, and I really don't like that. So we're going to see how those prints come out, and I'm going to put that to the test because I'm very picky with like textures. So hopefully it doesn't come out too thick and rubbery. So we're going to go test that out right now. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our software here. Go ahead and drag in our image. 12 by 12 might be too big because I'm gonna put it on the front of the shirt. So let's do 10 by 10. Now that I have the image how I like it, I'm just gonna go ahead and double check that everything is good. Something I've learned so far that everyone says, you want to make sure that it says 100% white under any colored pixel. And that's going to go for white 1 and white 2 because remember we're going to have those white layers on the back. And then the CMYK is going to be the full color, and that is why you have to mirror the images. So everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and click rip. And we're going to change this to 1440 by 1440 DPI and make sure that our print is mirrored down here. Everything looks good, so let's go ahead and print. Now it's going to load and then it'll print on the printer, so let's go check it out. Okay guys, so I'm gonna put it in the powder bath right now, but I just want to show you how adorable this print came out. Oh my god, look at those colors, so stinking cute. Okay, we're gonna give it a little powder bath now. So I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts and opinions on the machine. We're going to go through all the different prints and stuff. Here is the one that we did yesterday. It came out absolutely stunning, you guys. These colors, vibrant, beautiful, saturated. I love it so much. So we're going to go through them and we're going to talk about the pros and cons. I have made a list here of some of the things that I want to note. especially if you are a small business owner. Please pay attention to these things. I do have experience printing transfers at home. If you guys are a returning subscriber, you will know that I have a $800 Epson printer that I converted to ink solvent. So I have pretty good experience printing transfers at home. I've also worked with HTV, heat transfer vinyl, where you have to lay it on the mat, cut it, weed it and everything. So these are going to be my honest opinions, you guys. Like I said, this video is not sponsored at all. I was gifted this machine, but these opinions, pros, cons, are completely 100% truthful. Let's see, we're going to start off with the cons because there are a couple. They're not that many, but there are some. And they're not the end of the world, but they are some things to note. So the first con for me right off the bat was that I had to get a Windows computer. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I had more trouble with figuring out the Windows software than I did with figuring out the Procolored software. That necessarily doesn't have to do with the DTF printer, but in order to use the ProRib software, you do have to go to Windows. So that was a con for me. So I definitely do hope that in the future they come out with a Mac friendly software or something of that nature, because going from Mac to Windows is is pretty difficult to maneuver and stuff. No matter what printer you get, you guys will always have some sort of maintenance. I do hear with this one in particular, daily maintenance is very, very recommended. I can't swear by this because I don't do daily maintenance for my other printers, but I am going to try to keep up with it and stuff, just because I do hear that it could clog if you don't take care of it and stuff. But like I said, you guys, that's going to be for any printer that you get. Maintenance is going to be something that is going to be in the picture no matter what. Literally takes like 2 minutes to do a print head cleaning, and that is just with all printers. It literally takes 2 minutes. Just keep cleaning those print heads. You don't want clogs or anything, so that is something to note. The print speed and the oven time, all that good stuff. So let me put it to you guys this way. I'm just thinking for myself because, like I said, I print transfers at home. And the way that I do it, I have to cut up the HTV. It comes in a big roll. I have to cut it down to size to 8.5 by 11 sheets. I have to print it. That printing takes a while because you print in the best quality possible, and that takes time. You have to print that, then you have to cut that on your silhouette machine. The machine takes time to cut, and then you have to go ahead and transfer that with a heat transfer tape onto the garment. So that whole process for one print takes about, I don't know, let's just say give or take maybe a good 5 minutes, right? If we're just doing one print. This printer, and it also depends on what you're printing. So for example, I'll use this size, for example. This print took about, I wanna say, the press time is actually 30 seconds. So all in all, you're looking at about 6 minutes for this print, but it's a lot less work as well. So the machine does everything for you. All you have to do, all the manual labor you have to do basically is just put the powder on and just shake the powder on the transfer itself. So still kind of time consuming if you're doing something this big. Still kind of time consuming, but not as much manual labor as you would doing something else of like eco-solvent printing or HTV or something like that. That's if you're printing something this big. So let's talk about if you're going to be printing something of this size. Multiple transfers of this size will fit in the oven. You definitely could fit at least 10 of each of these inside the oven, maybe more. You want to think about the size of your prints and what you're going to be using it for. This is mostly what I do. I do these size prints. Now that I have this printer, I will be incorporating bigger size like this, but most of my prints are usually this size anyway. This will be perfect for me because I can just print these in bulk and one sheet the size of the print oven, have them just baked and ready to press. That's going to be perfect for me. Not really saving time, you're saving work. You're saving the manual labor, if that makes sense, because the machines do everything for you. And this is definitely the way to go if you want to multitask and do other things, and if you have a lot of more things going on like me, this is going to be perfect because I can just leave it in there. It'll beep, let me know when it's ready, come take it out, and they're ready to press. Speaking as someone who works with printable HTV and just normal HTV, the cutting time and the labor is not worth it. Now trying this, I would 100% go with this because you save so much manual labor, like literally just having this print. All you do is snip it, put it in the oven, and you're just good to go. Versus something like HTV, where you have to weed, like if there are the rolls of the HTV, you have to weed everything. A lot less manual labor with the DTF printer. One last con that I have, if you wanted to print gang sheets with this printer, you would not be able to do it. That oven is not built for gang sheets. So if you're looking to print and sell gang sheets, this DTF printer is not for you. Or if you want to sell transfers individually, you can definitely do that as well. But gang sheets are not an option with this printer. Since we're talking about transfers, this is a great option if you do want to sell like maybe pocket transfers, or just like smaller transfers like this. Even the large ones as well, you can totally do that. It would just be definitely more convenient to sell transfers this size because you're going to be able to produce them a lot faster. So definitely good for selling transfers, and it's a good starter machine as well, because if you're barely starting your business, you probably don't have the clientele to be selling like a bunch of transfers anyway. So this is also like a really good starter machine for that, just to kind of build that clientele and maybe move up to one of their bigger machines in the future. If you are a small business owner looking to purchase this DTF printer for starting your business, I can say that I wish I would have skipped all the other HTV and printable vinyl, and I would have just gone straight into this. That is the honest truth, you guys. Doesn't compare. It's like literally so easy. The software is easy. Like everything is so easy to use with this. If you're a returning subscriber, you will know that I have literally a stack of transfers, probably bigger than this. It doesn't even fit in the frame, just sitting on shelves that I've had since I first started my business over a year ago. They haven't made a dent. You're first starting your business, you do not want to purchase transfers in bulk, you guys. Like that is one of the biggest mistakes that I have made to this day. Not only did I waste money, but those transfers, again, like I said, they're just sitting there, wasting away, not being used. Speaking from experience, I wish I would have bought a printer like this, where you can test out the designs one by one and see if they do well. If I print this out and I put it up on my website and it doesn't perform well, no problem. I don't have a bunch of transfers just sitting there. This is something that I've said many times that I wish I would have done differently when I first started my business. Yes, I know it can be a little bit pricey, but if you think about it, right, all that money that I have spent on transfers that are just sitting there could have been used towards something of like a bigger investment that would have actually paid off, because I can actually test the designs and see which designs perform well and make more of those designs, instead of just ordering a bunch of transfers that I didn't know if they were going to sell well, and now they're just sitting there wasting away. I wasted money, I wasted time, and I wasted material. I know like some people are definitely on a budget when you're first starting and things can be very expensive. If you guys are interested in buying this printer and saving some money, you can use code Noelle Creates for $80 off, because I know it could be really expensive when you're first starting your business. So any little bit helps. So definitely use that code to save some money if you guys are interested in buying this printer. And now let's talk about the quality. I have ordered and used DTF transfers before, and I was actually always put off by DTF transfers in the beginning because I had ordered some that were very thick. These do not come out like that at all, you guys. The best way to describe it is butter. They're super smooth. They're not too thick. They melt onto the fabric really well. And I do want to talk about the difference though. So if you have something like this that is like spread out and stuff, you can literally not even feel that it's on the garment at all. Like it's literally just butter. But if you have like one big piece like this, if you have one big piece that's connected, you can feel it a lot more, but it's still not uncomfortable or too bulky. Again, I am a very big texture person, and that is something that immediately turns me off. I do not like when transfers feel very thick and bulky on the garment. And this doesn't feel like that. Even though it's one big piece, you can feel it more on here, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And for something like this where it's all spread out, doesn't even, I mean, you can feel that it's there. You can like, it makes a noise, but it's not uncomfortable or too bulky or whatever. These are very high quality, you guys. Like you can feel the quality on here. That is part of the price, you guys. You're paying for quality. This is a very high quality commercial grade machine. Something that I didn't show in this video and something that I haven't tried out yet, but I will make a follow-up on how I'm liking it after a couple weeks, just to like give you guys a even better update. I want to try making a print that is like for the full back of a sweater. I think that would be a really fun idea, and we should definitely test that out in another video. So look out for that follow-up video so we can test like big, if you're looking to print like big transfers for the back of hoodies. Make sure to turn on your post notifications so you don't miss that video. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would, and I hope that someone watches this and doesn't make the same mistakes that I did. Sometimes it is better just to make a bigger purchase, maybe even in payments, and that would have saved me a lot of money to this day. So I would have definitely rather started off with something like this, especially like I said, because when you're first starting that business, you don't have your customers yet and you don't know what they like. Testing out designs is super vital and important, and it's the one thing that I would have done differently. I really hope that helps someone here not make the same mistakes that I did. I would 100% say that the hype is real. This Procolored L1800 DTF printer is very popular amongst the small business community, and I can definitely see why, and it is 100% worth the hype. I wish I could have done it all over again and purchased this from the very beginning. I am very impressed with the quality and just the overall use of this printer. I 100% recommend it to you guys. And if you guys are interested in this printer, I will leave that link down in the description for you guys. And don't forget to use code NoelleCreates for $80 off your purchase. Those are my final thoughts, you guys. And let me know which sweater was your favorite. They are some sneak peeks, but anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts. And if you have heard about this printer and the hype that it has within the small business community, because this is something that I have always wanted to try. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss the follow-up videos of the DTF printing. And make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more content, and I will see you in the next one.